Commander Elena Vasquez stepped through the airlock into what could only be described as controlled chaos. The USS Blackstar's hangar bay stretched before her like a metallic cathedral, its ceiling lost in shadows despite the harsh white lighting. What struck her most wasn't the ship's immense size, though at 12 kilometers in length, it dwarfed even Earth's largest dreadnoughts, but the absolute silence that pervaded everything. No engine hum, no electrical buzz, no vibration through the deck plates. It was as if the ship existed in a bubble of perfect vacuum, isolated from the fundamental forces that governed the universe. "Welcome aboard humanity's first impossibility," said Dr. Marcus Webb, the project's chief scientist, as he approached with a gait that seemed slightly off. Vasquez realized he was compensating for the artificial gravity, which felt subtly different from Earth, normal despite registering exactly 9.8 meters per second squared on her suit's sensors. "The reports weren't exaggerated," Vasquez murmured, running her hand along a bulkhead that appeared to be made of some matty black material that seemed to absorb photons rather than reflect them. "How is this possible?" Webb's smile was equal parts pride and terror. 23 years of research into recovered predecessor technology, Commander. The civilization that built the artifacts we found on Kepler 186f didn't just master faster than light travel, they transcended it. The predecessors had vanished approximately 50,000 years ago, leaving behind only scattered ruins and technology so advanced it bordered on incomprehensible. Humanity had been reverse engineering their discoveries for decades, producing incremental improvements in shield generators and weapon systems. But the Blackstar represented something entirely different, a quantum leap that had cost Earth's entire black budget for a generation. "The Veilthon Empire knows we found something," Vasquez said as they walked through corridors that seemed to bend space around them, making distances feel simultaneously longer and shorter than they appeared. "Their intelligence networks have been probing our outer colonies for months." Webb nodded grimly. The Veilthon Empire controlled nearly 40% of the galaxy's habitable systems, ruling through a combination of overwhelming military superiority and technological monopolies. They tolerated younger species like humanity only as long as they remained confined to their small corner of space and posed no threat to the established order. The discovery of predecessor ruins had changed everything. "Here's what you need to understand about the Blackstar," Webb explained, as they entered a vast chamber dominated by a pulsing sphere of what looked like crystallized spacetime. Traditional starships move through space. The Blackstar moves space around itself. The implications hit Vasquez like a physical blow. Instantaneous travel. Anywhere in the galaxy. Anywhere in the observable universe, theoretically. The predecessor hyperdrive doesn't punch holes in spacetime. It convinces reality that the ship is already where it wants to be. From the perspective of external observers, the Blackstar simply ceases to exist in one location and begins existing in another, with no transition period. They paused before a massive view screen displaying the tactical situation in the Outer Rim territories. Red icons marked Veilthon battle groups, each containing hundreds of ships converging on human space from multiple directions. Intelligence suggested the Empire had finally decided humanity's rapid technological advancement posed an unacceptable threat. "Admiral Richardson estimates we have perhaps 6 months before they reach Earth," Vasquez observed. "Even with our latest upgrades, the Terran fleet can't match their numbers." Webb's expression darkened. "Which is why the Blackstar exists. Commander, what do you know about the Veilthon command structure?" "Highly centralized. Emperor Kiraxis controls everything from his mobile fortress palace, the Eternal Dominion. It's essentially a mobile planet, defended by thousands of ships and shielded by technology we've never been able to penetrate. The Eternal Dominion orbits the galactic core, drawing power directly from the supermassive black hole at the galaxy's center. It's considered absolutely impregnable. Webb paused meaningfully. Unless someone could simply appear inside their defensive perimeter without warning. The magnitude of what he was suggesting made Vasquez's breath catch. You're talking about decapitation strike. Cut off the head of the Empire. The Blackstar mounts a single weapon system, a predecessor tech gravitational manipulator that can destabilize stellar objects. We could theoretically trigger a supernova in the galactic core, destroying the Eternal Dominion and everything within a dozen light-years. The moral implications were staggering. The galactic core region housed billions of beings, many of them civilians, with no involvement in their government's aggressive policies. But the alternative, watching human civilization burn while the Veilthon Empire absorbed Earth's territories, was equally unthinkable. What about the crew requirements? Vasquez asked, though she suspected she already knew why she'd been summoned. The Blackstar can theoretically be operated by a single person, though having a small support crew would be preferable. The ship's AI interfaces directly with the pilot's nervous system, creating a symbiotic relationship between human consciousness and predecessor technology. Webb met her eyes directly. The integration process is irreversible. Whoever pilots the Blackstar becomes part of it permanently. Vasquez had expected this. Her psychological profile indicated exceptional spatial reasoning, resistance to cognitive modification, and most importantly, a willingness to sacrifice herself for humanity's survival. She had volunteered for dangerous missions before, but nothing approaching this scale. How long do I have to decide? The integration process takes 72 hours. If we're going to move against the Eternal Dominion, it needs to happen before the Veilthon fleets reach our outer colonies. Webb activated a holographic display showing star charts and fleet movements. We have detailed intelligence on Emperor Caraxis's location. He's scheduled to attend a ceremonial review of his core fleets in 6 days. 6 days to end a war before it could begin. 6 days to either save humanity or commit genocide on an unprecedented scale. Vasquez studied the Blackstar's bridge, where neural interface cables waited like sleeping serpents. The ship hummed with barely contained power. Its predecessor systems, existing in dimensions human science could barely comprehend. Once she connected to those systems, she would cease to be entirely human, becoming something new, a hybrid consciousness capable of wielding weapons that could reshape reality itself. I need to understand something, she said finally. If this works, if we destroy the Eternal Dominion, what happens to the rest of the galaxy? The Veilthon Empire maintained order, however brutal. Their collapse could trigger wars across dozens of sectors. Webb's expression was haunted. That's a problem for whoever survives to see tomorrow, Commander. Right now, our only choice is between an uncertain future and no future at all. Vasquez nodded slowly, accepting the weight of cosmic responsibility. In 72 hours, she would either be dead or transformed into something unprecedented in galactic history, a human consciousness merged with technology that predated most civilizations. The Blackstar waited patiently, its impossible systems ready to carry humanity's desperate gambit across the stars. The Empire's worst nightmare was about to become reality.